Geralf's Messenger, Rakdos Shred Freak, Dragmangler, and Desecration Demon.
Wow, Desecration Demon.
Desecration Demon, that's the 6/6. Or no, sorry, it's the 6/6 for 4. That each turn the player either has to, the player may sacrifice a creature to tap it, but if they do, it gets bigger.
Right. And he's playing against Adam Prosak on the right, who's playing a really, really interesting deck. He's also playing a Lawleth Troll deck, but his is a lot different. He has Faithless Lootings and Grisly Salvage with Liliana of the Veil. Those sort of form his backbone. Now, what he's doing with those, he's putting Veilborn Ghouls in the graveyard, and he's putting Sever the Bloodlines in the graveyard. Really just kind of more of a rock-style deck. He has Olivia Valdarin, Thragtusk.
Right, so Prosak leading out on a Evolving Wilds and a Diagraph Ghoul out of Kyle Wright. Kyle really becoming the aggro here. So Adam is going to get a Swamp on end step. The Veilborn Ghoul is interesting because it probably is never being cast in Adam's deck. It's fodder for Faithless Lootings and it's fodder for a lot less trolls.
Also Liliana of the Veil.
Right.
It's really a solid role player in his deck. And, you know, if the game does go that long, it's a 4/1.
It's
not
using
completely
it very
blank.
similarly to how Squee used to be used in older decks, actually.
Yeah.
Turn 2 Force from Adam. No plays. So black-green mana bases out of both of them as Kyle's going to play an Overgrown Tomb here, dropping himself to 18.
Yep, it looks like Adam Prosak setting up a likely Grisly Salvage. End of turn.
Kyle hits Adam, both players now at 18. And a Gravecrawler from Kyle Wright. Passing the turn. So the question is, why was the tomb untapped? Presumably because he has a Tragic Slip. End step Grisly Salvage is going to happen here.
Wow, and Salvage flips 4 lands and a Sever. Adam has to decide what he wants, and it looks like it's Swamp. Possibly indicating a Liliana of the Veil. Which, all in all, is pretty weak against black-green zombies. And there it is, that's a freshly drawn Liliana.
Yeah, Liliana's pretty unexciting on this board.
You know, one card notably absent from Adam Prozak's deck is actually the one we were just talking about. Let's see here. Let me make sure it's not in the sideboard.
Liliana is going to get cast, and that will edict Kyle Wright's Gravecrawler. So it's really a stopgap measure there.
Wow, yeah. Now, Adam Prosak really must not have had anything else to play there.
I mean, that's fine. It does still slow him down. I'm just trying to keep the game going. Diagraph Ghoul will take down Liliana. Gravecrawler will be recast by Kyle Wright. He does not have a third land. He's going to make Rakdos Cackler, and he is unleashing it. So remember, that is Cackler, not a zombie. But he has 3 2-power creatures in play. No third land from Kyle. Adam now with the third color, Dragon Skull Summit, and Olivia Voldarin down.
Wow.
And Kyle, I believe, does have a Tragic Slip from when he left up that mana last turn. He still has not hit his land, which could be... It's going to... I mean, Olivia obviously is very strong here. All 3 attacks by Kyle.
And now Adam Prosak has to think about that 1 mana that Kyle left up with the Overgrown Tomb. He has to be he has to be thinking Tragic Slip here.
I don't... He's going to take all the damage. Doesn't seem like... He doesn't want Tragic Slip to be able to be triggered. And 2 mana, Kyle's going to Sign in Blood, targeting himself. So Kyle drops to 16. The question is, with only 1 red mana, does it matter? Can Adam do something relevant here? If Kyle draws a Swamp, he'll still have Slip up. He drew Cavern of Souls. Wow. And probably set to Zombie. We'll get a confirmation on that. Passing the turn to Adam Prosak.
Adam with a Sever the Bloodline in his hand, but instead is just going to pass the turn, sit on his Olivia.
Cavern set to Zombie. He plays Evolving Wilds. So this will pass back to Kyle. So Olivia threatening to become a 4/4. Alright. Kyle's really choked up a bit on his mana, but the thing is that he doesn't have too much farther left to go. In the sense that Adam's at 12. Adam does play 3 Thragtusk, which Kyle may or may not know. He's going to attempt to Rancor the Gravecrawler.
Gravecrawler.
Well, what he's looking for, I think he's trying to bait a shock here so that he can Tragic Slip Olivia and swing.
Right.
This is a pretty good bait, and I think Adam has to take it, actually.
Looks like he might respond with a Grizzly Salvage.
Or Abrupt.
Or Abrupt.
I mean, it looks like he's looking at Abrupt Decay mana.
Oh no, it looks like Adam, no Abrupt Decays.
Okay, Golgari Charm. So you can Golgari Charm, giving all Kyle's creatures -1/-1. Really a strong play here.
Yep.
But that's going to allow for a Tragic Slip, and he's going to kill the Diagraph Ghoul.
Yep. So Kyle Wright was able to deal with that Olivia, but at a price. He lost 3 cards for that.
Right, and he's only going to be able to deal 1 damage to Adam, dropping Adam to 11.
Still though, the thing about the zombie deck, they really don't have to do that much damage via the combat deck to be able to win. Geralf's Messenger is that card is a beating.
Right, and it's a beating in the sense that it's not a card that Adam can very readily deal with.
No, he has to kill that via combat, unless of course he Olivia's it, or Pillars of Flame.
And crack the Evolving Wilds for a 3rd swamp. Not looking for more green mana, and it's really Thragtusk that he's hoping to draw into if he does not already have it. He has a Sever in hand and other cards which remain to be seen.
Yeah, and it looks like a lot of pros really going to the Pillar of Flame as their go-to removal spell. They might have expected a lot of messengers today.
Yeah, Evolving Wilds.
And the mountain in the graveyard, so Adam is going to have to go get a swamp because his deck is only playing 1 mountain, 1 forest, and those are all 4 of the swamps.
So I want to say he has a 4th Evolving Wilds in his hand, which is now a dead. Yeah, he does, which is that's his graveyard.
Yeah, probably rethinking his mana base.
Yeah, he has
right
Veilborn Ghoul in his hand. That's another card. He's going to Grizzly Salvage. There's a Liliana. There's a Lotleth Troll. The Lotleth Troll he cannot cast this turn. Interestingly enough, because by cracking his Evolving Wilds, he got a fresh top of his deck, but now that means he's not going to be able to make a land drop this turn to get his Veilborn Ghoul back. Not that that particularly matters. Veilborn Ghoul coming back is kind of a... Well, I suppose he doesn't have too many swamps left.
Right, he has 0 basic swamps left. Now he does play 4 Blood Crypt, 4 Overgrown Tomb, so he will be able to trigger it, but
right.
Not quite with the Evolving Wilds like he wants to. Adam drawing an unfortunate number of his basics this game.
Alright, so Rakdos Cackler is joined by Rakdos Shred Freak, dropping Prosak to 7 life. And Adam's got to hope to find a Thragtusk.
Yeah, he needs one very soon. There's a Pillar, and that combined with Sever...
That's a Faithless Looting.
That's a Faithless Looting.
Liliana, and I believe Grizzly Salvage were drawn, or it's Rakdos Charm. Cards look very similar. Both are Rakdos cards. He discards the Veilborn Ghoul and the Lotleth Troll.
So he decides that's not the way he wants to go this game. Instead, -1/-1 to your creatures. Kills that Shred Freak. Liliana deals with the Cackler.
Right. So he's cleared all the creatures off the board. Kyle Wright, though, remember, still with a full group of creatures, and and Shred Freak is going to come down and knock out Liliana, and he's got to be upset that cavern's been set to zombies, but maybe it should have been set to demons or devils. Sorry.
Yeah,
and
it's
Blood Crypt gets back a pair of Veilborn Ghouls,
wow,
which will be great with the Faithless Looting.
And there's a Sever the Bloodline that'll take care of Kyle's only creature. But Kyle with full grip, one of which is a Geralf's Messenger.
Right, now there's a Sever in the yard, so Geralf's Messenger actually is only a shock here.
Yep.
Second cavern down. Geralf's Messenger will put Prosak to 5.
Yep. Adam 5 life. At the same time though, that'll make him tap out to use that Sever, meaning that Gravecrawler will get in for at least 2.
Right, a fairly relevant 2 also.
Adam really on the back foot here. And it looks like both caverns are on zombie.
Yep. He's gonna Sever the Messenger. So Kyle has to be sure not to play 2 creatures with the same name at this point.
Overgrown Tomb untapped.
Dropping Adam to 3.
3 life, not a great place to be against a zombie deck.
Now we're and Desecration Demon.
Wow.
and Rakdos Cackler. All right, there are actually no legit sweepers in Adam's deck.
Yeah, he needs a Thragtusker now. Couldn't tell what that was. Might have been another Veilborn Ghoul.
Great card advantage engine, not a great draw at this point. Gonna flashback Faithless Looting. Remember, he has 2 Veilborn Ghouls in his hand, so there'll easily be fodder for that. And he will scoop it up. Black-Green Zombies gets the first game.
The mid-Faithless Looting scoop doesn't want to reveal anything else to Kyle right there.
Right. So let's look at what they're doing in this matchup. Certainly, I think the aggressor here appears to be Kyle.
Oh yeah, for sure. If he lets Adam get to the long game, Adam will certainly take it over with Thragtusk, Veilborn Ghouls, Lawleth Trolls. He has a lot of late game tools, but that said, he has to survive. He has to survive that long.
So outside of what we already have seen out of Adam's deck, to be able to deal with Kyle, what else is he going to be able to bring in to help to basically just stop an initial onslaught?
Yeah, well, he's definitely going to side about all the Veilborn Ghouls, I think. If I was Adam, that's what I'd do. I would side out the Veilborn Ghouls, I would side out the Lilianas, I would bring in all of the mid-range creatures. The Olivia, so he has a 3rd Olivia, he has 2 Hunt Masters, he has 2 Deathrite Shaman, 2 Curse of Death's Hold, 2 Mutilate. So he really has a lot of ways to deal with some creatures, and a lot of versatile ways too, which I really like about his sideboard.
Yeah.
He needs to draw Hunt Master, for sure.
Kyle, I think, also will be using Deathrite Shaman out of the board, hidden from a totally different area. Deathrite Shaman, for those of you not knowing the card, is a 1-mana black-green hybrid card that for a black mana exiles an instant or sorcery to shock a player, and for a green mana exiles a creature to gain 2 life. Kyle will be able to really aggressively interact with Adam's deck by using the card on Adam's graveyard. Adam puts really relevant instants and sorceries and creatures in his own graveyard. So that's, I mean, the source damage there and the disruption factor seem like that'll be really good for Kyle.
Yeah, I'm guessing that this is going to be a Deathrite Shaman battle, because if both players get it, it's going to turn into a bit of a grind of a game. Important to note, though, that it's a 1/2, so it doesn't die to the Tragic Slip. At least not the first Tragic Slip.
Kyle also has access to 2 Appetite for Brains, which can hit Sever the Bloodline, Olivia, Thragtusk, and Veilborn Ghoul, which is probably enough targets that he doesn't have to worry about the card being dead. The question is, would he still want to side it in to hit those targets?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of a balancing act whenever you're playing an aggressive deck and, you know, you want to sideboard on all these different cards to fight all these different matchups, but at the same time, you can't dilute your deck too much, because if you do, that's going to give the control deck all the time in the world. But the Appetite for Brains, I think he has to bring it in. Really, really good against Sever the Bloodline. He can't really deal with an Olivia. He can't really deal with a Hunt Master. He has to at least suspect the Thragtusk.
I think in the format where it stands right now, you should assume a Thragtusk can come out of any deck that plays green.
Yeah, for sure. One of the definers. Your deck has to be able to beat a Thragtusk. A Thragtusk Restoration Angel even would be even better.
So that said, who do you like in this matchup?
I think I have to give it to Adam. I think his deck just gets a lot more versatile after sideboard. He gets to sideboard a lot of these dead cards out. Veilborn Ghoul is just, it's an ugly card against a black-green zombies deck. That's for sure. Even though he lost game 1, I still think he has a little bit of an edge in the post-sideboard matches. Can he win 2 in a row? It'll be tough, but I like him in this matchup. How about you?
Well, I think given between the 2 of these, I almost want to take the zombie deck. I see that Adam, I think this matchup's Adam's leaning pretty hard on Pillar of Flame to get him through the early game, and I just don't think he's going to be able to draw enough Pillar of Flames in both games to still stay with it. I think as we saw in that match before, Kyle's able to push damage pretty hard, and I'd like him to be able to, at least in one of the games, find a way to push 20.
Yeah, and you know, that is true about this Zombies deck. In the past, the Zombies deck used to have to play a lot of sort of mediocre cards on curve. They used to have to play a 4-drop in the form of Obliterator, that you know, more 3-drops. This deck is really streamlined. He has the Shred Freaks, he has the Cacklers, he has the Lawleth Troll. Just has way better threats at all points of the curve.
I actually want to talk about those 2 guys, the Shred Freaks and Cacklers. How excited are you about Rakdos Shred Freak?
I think it's a decent role player. I think a lot of these, well, I think that Kyle is definitely going in the right direction, not making all his creatures zombies. Because I think that's sort of a crutch. I think if you lean on that, your deck's just not going to be as good. I like the Shred Freak.
So we have Adam. Okay, Adam, turn 1 Blood Crypt tapped, and he's going to Pillar of Flame the 1-drop out of Kyle and get his mana going. Zombie out of Kyle makes a Grave Crawler, and there we see the Death Wright Shaman.
Wow,
Already with a target.
Yeah, Kyle Wright, 3 1-drops.
Exactly. Good for his deck.
Yeah, exactly the draw he wants to have.
And Lotleth Troll out of Adam Prosak. So Adam's managed to stay at 20. I think this is what you were saying before. It's a pretty good situation for Adam Prosak, and he's already at 20.
Yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly the draw he needed.
Love to see a Tragic Slip from Kyle right here. The block, regen.
So Adam immediately calls that bluff from Kyle. He knows that he has to stay as high a life total as possible.
And I'm assuming that there's a play from Kyle coming up here. No, there's not. All right.
Maybe thinking about Tragic Slipping. Oh wow, it just says go. Interesting.
I don't really understand that play very much.
No, Kyle must have just put Adam on not blocking, but Adam...
Maybe he thought the regeneration was green, but it's not. It's black.
Maybe.
And Lotleth Troll will get back in there. That's a pretty big game-changing... That's a game-changer of a play there, especially Kyle missing his 3rd land drop. Now pretty far behind.
For sure. That Death Wright Shaman.
And he does not end-step the Death Wright Shaman on the Pillar of Flame.
Wow, interesting.
I think my guess here is that Kyle's probably a little on edge because of the play he made last turn. And at this point, probably playing a little quick. Just needs to slow down a bit. You know, there was that Pillar of Flame trigger, which would have been very good for him. So.
It's really easy to beat yourself up over it, but at the same time, it's not going to actually change anything. Kyle Wright couldn't have played anything anyway. He'll just
get make mistakes, especially when on camera. You can make mistakes, and then you can win games, and that's fine. But I think this game's getting pretty out of reach here. Adam Prosak up to 25. He makes a turn 5 Thrag Tusk. Kyle's still on 2 creatures. So okay, see, and then Adam drops down to 23. Kyle does hit the Death Wright Shaman.
Kyle will need to land here. That's a Grave Crawler.
It's a Grave Crawler. His hand, yeah, he's going to concede this.
Just packs it in. Packs in his 3 permanents. How many land is he playing here?
He is playing 21 lands, so that's fine. That's about all I would want to.
Right. That does mean, though, that it is a little easy to get flooded, especially if you're siding in things like 2 Sever the Bloodline and Thrag Tusk, which I'm not saying he wants them in this matchup, but when you have cards like that in your sideboard that are 4, 5 mana, 7 mana on the flashback, you usually want 1 or 2 lands on the board, too.
I would agree.
So Kyle Wright doesn't look too happy about that, laughing with Prosak about that last game. Adam happy to be at 1-1, but he'll have to win this one on the draw. He'll have to break serve here. The zombie deck is a scary thing on the play. That might be the fastest goldfish in the format, is this black-green zombie deck.
It certainly has like the most efficient creatures. That said, its creatures are all pretty... It doesn't really explode. It's just like, it's very consistent. I remember old aggro decks back in the what is it? Old light weenie decks. Their best draws were Savannah Lions, turn 2 Savannah Lions.
Exactly.
Those were the draws which you were very scared about. And I kind of feel like when I'm watching this black green zombies deck, I'm reminded of, like Tragic Slip is like the Swords to Plowshares in the white weenie deck. And it's like, I'm kind of reminded of these really old school aggro decks where it's like, why are you playing these creatures? Well, they all cost 1 and have a power of 2. Why would I not play them?
Exactly. He has 12 2-power 1-drops, which is kind of that critical mass that you need nowadays. Back then you could sort of get away with playing things like Suntail Hawk and stuff like that, really because there were no other options. But now, 12 2-power 1-drops. Lotleth Troll is, it's more than a 2-power 2-drop. Shred Freak 2-power 2-drop haste. And then, of course, topping out the curve with the Messengers and the Demon. What do you think about Rancor in this deck?
Well, Rancor, I think any deck that's black-green, that's green-based aggro, probably should be playing some number of Rancor. I really like how... I think it's like it's one of your best late-game cards, and it's really and it's passable enough in the early game that I wouldn't see a reason to not play it.
He's playing 3. I definitely like that number. I would not want to play 4. But that said, it's so good and such a game changer in a lot of matchups that you can risk having it be a dead draw.
From watching his 2 games, it seems like the green mana is the biggest reason to not play Rancor in the deck.
Yeah.
He has 4 Overgrown Tomb, 4 Woodland Cemetery, and 3 Caverns, which help him cast Lotleth Troll, but will not help him cast Rancor. Both, for example, last game he did have a Rancor in his hand, but was unable to cast it.
Right.
All right, on to game 3. Both players opening 7. Kyle Wright is on the play. As we recall, he eked out a game 1 win, then got stuck on 2 game 2, and really didn't put up much of a fight. Adam did have the Pillar of Flame game 2, so I think what we're seeing before is, can Adam get enough early pillars both games? Kyle's going to 6 cards here.
Not really a big deal for the aggressive deck because, like you said, he is just looking for that really great draw, that 6 power on turn 2 type of draw, and that's what he needs.
The biggest concern for him here, what I would think, is that Adam has kept his 7, which means if Adam has kept a 7 full of Pillar of Flames, then Kyle dropping to 6 cards is going to be very hard for him. It's going to be very significant.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Adam, his deck is slow. He has to mess around with Faithless Looting, he has to waste time with Grizzly Salvage, Veilborn Ghoul, but if he gets the right draw against the aggro zombies deck, his deck will be almost unbeatable if he has that critical mass of early removal. And really all it takes is 1 Olivia or 1 Huntmaster. 1 well-timed, powerful creature to take it away. After board, he'll have 3 Olivias, 2 Huntmaster, and 3 Thragtusk. So 8 creatures that, if they land, will make Kyle Wright's will make a real problem for him.
Huntmaster seems more beatable than Thragtusk does to you for some reason, but yeah, I would agree.
Ooh, nice. We just got a request for an Angel of Glory's Rise deck. I would love to see that.
So there was the block deck. The block Angel of Glory's Rise deck, for those of you not familiar with it, was a combo deck that involved, I'm going to start to say a million different pieces here, but you'd Angel of Glory's Rise, back a Fiend Hunter, and a Huntmaster of the Fells, and if you had a Vampire Aristocrat in play, Falkenrath Aristocrat in play, you would then Fiend Hunt the Angel of Glory's Rise, gain 2 life off the Huntmaster, and you'd sacrifice the Fiend Hunter to the Aristocrat, therefore and you sacrifice all the other guys to the Aristocrat, and then you bring the Angel back and looping all your humans back into play, and eventually your hope would be to gain infinite life, or you find a Zealous Conscripts and steal all their permanents, or something like that. So
that's a great loop.
It's a great loop. It's off some play in block. I don't know if we have any here today. Well, we can maybe try to hunt one down. Kyle looks pretty unhappy with his hand.
He says, "Yep, I have 6."
Yeah, there's
not
6
happy
there.
about it. Trying to think if he can go to 5, and really, I mean, 5 cards. Really tough for him to have that draw of 3 2-power creatures.
Right. I mean, so what he asked away is what a potential 5-card draw would look like versus what he has here. He's going to drop to 5.
Adam Prosak pretty happy about that. He knows how hard these events are. 10 rounds. I don't care if you're one of the best players in the room like Adam Prosak is. You still have to get through 10 rounds. And it's so easy for something like this to happen. Mulligan to 5, game 3 of a match. Mediocre hand. Oh, you're out of the match. That's a match loss right there.
Right.
You can't afford too many of those.
I like that Kyle aggressively mulligans towards something that's keepable, though. I think not mulliganing is one of the biggest mistakes that people can make early on, especially when first playing higher level Magic. Mulliganing is available to you, and it's something that you probably have to do more often than you'd like to think.
For sure. Mulliganing, I mean, you ask some world-class players, Martin Yuza, you ask him, he'd say to mulligan every hand. You ask other world-class players, LSV, they'd say never mulligan. It's a balancing act. Each player does it differently. I really think that most players don't mulligan enough, though.
Right. That'd be my inclination. It really depends on your deck. You have to kind of probabilistically think about what your top 3 cards are, and then and really be honest with yourself about what you think they are, and then what that makes your hand into, and think about what that makes your chances of winning, and then picture a random 6-card hand. Then decide.
Right.
Based off that.
So Kyle will keep his 5.
Right. Turn 1. He has his 1 drop. Turn 1 Gravecrawler.
He found it.
And Overgrown Tomb from Prosak. So no pillar. He has second land. Remember, Kyle only needs 3 lands to operate.
Exactly. I mean, he can get by just fine with 2 as well.
Right. Turn 2, 2 more 1-drops.
Look at
All
that.
right. 1 card left in his hand.
So 5 power.
Can you beat the board?
5 power on the play.
Turn 2, nothing. It's probably just a Grizzly Salvage, or possibly it could be a Golgari Charm out of Prosak. Golgari Charm, not doing too much, and it's Grizzly Salvage. Kyle Wright with some real game here.
Yeah.
No third play, and here comes the Grizzly Salvage. There's a Mutilate bidding into the yard. He'll take the red source.
Yep, he definitely needs that.
The speed with which he took it makes me think he doesn't have one.
Yeah, definitely an easy choice. The come into play untapped dual land over the Blood Crypt or Overgrown Tomb. Here it comes. I see Lawleth Trolls.
It was a Blood Crypt he took, right?
He took
Dragon's Soul. Okay, yeah, definitely then.
And here we go. What's this? It's a Lawleth Troll.
All right, and in we have Golgari Charm in Kyle Wright's hand. He's going to just pass the turn. No.
Ooh, wow.
And all right, so there's a Golgari Charm, and that's great. If he shrivels he can try to shrivel Prosak's left troll. Prosak probably has a creature in his hand to really stop that from working.
Probably does, but we'll see.
I think he goes for it anyway, though.
I think he has to. I mean, maybe everything but the Deathrite Shaman. No, the Deathrite Shaman will come in.
He's going to block Diregraph Ghoul.
And now Kyle has a
there's
decision
also
to
it's a
make.
tragic. There's also a tragic slip in his hand.
Tragic slip too.
So
Adam
in
regenerates.
response, he's going to tragic slip. And putting 1/1 counter. You should have in response to Golgari Charms there and not slipped.
Yeah, I definitely
The problem is that
agree.
he can try for the Golgari Charm now, but if Adam has another creature, then both will fail at killing Lawleth Troll.
And yeah, Kyle Wright, I think realizes he messed up a little bit there. If he Golgari Charmed first, he'd be able to use the Tragic Slip post-combat, kill it for sure.
Right, so now he's got to like weigh what his correct play is here. Does he want to try to kill it a second time? Does he want to? He's going to Golgari Charm to shrivel, and Adam does not have another creature. Does Adam have another creature?
Oh no, I think he used the charm for another mode
To regenerate his own
mode.
creatures.
Right.
So he would regenerate his own creatures, and Olivia comes down.
Wow. So Olivia will quickly take over this game unless Kyle Wright has something to stop it.
Well, what you want to see Kyle do here is the Tragic Slip was probably best used to wait in killing a potential Olivia.
Right.
But then he would have a second Olivia, so possibly, you know, there's cases to be made both ways. The biggest thing is that Kyle needs to protect his Deathrite Shaman. That card can win this game on its own. Olivia can kill it next turn, unfortunately. So, and that's probably what Adam Prosak will do.
Yeah, and really Kyle Wright just
He's drawn a
much.
Sever the. Oh no, sorry, it's not Sever. Yeah, the Rakdos Shred Free.
2/2 haste still can't really attack though.
He can attack. He can attack. He'll get the Lawleth Troll.
Yep. Adam will have to block with that.
Pushing
troll.
he's just pushing 2 damage.
It gets the troll off the board, but the Olivia is gonna reign supreme here.
Yep.
In a couple turns.
Absolutely. So Prosak down to 8. And I think as long as Prosak uses this Olivia to kill the Deathrite Shaman, I think Prosak's just fine.
He will drop to 8,
Yep.
but then Kyle will have a 2/1 Gravecrawler versus
An active Olivia.
exactly. So really, that Valdarin, haven't seen a lot of it since Innistrad.
And Adam has drawn Thrag Tusk.
Wow.
That should be enough.
The proverbial nail.
Yeah. Rakdos Key Rune.
Interesting. I'm not sure.
That would not have been my play.
I like that. Oh, he has a Pillar of Flame in his hand. I see. That makes sense. Then.
All right. So Olivia will swing. Olivia's swinging 4/3 and eating Gravecrawler.
So Kyle Wright down to 16.
Yep.
Olivia soars over.
And you have to know that there's a pillar coming here.
Yeah. And now.
He's getting ready.
Oh wow! Did Adam say go?
He must have. All right. So Adam drops to 6.
Interesting. I think that's the only red card. It has to be a Pillar of Flame. Unless, of course, it's a it's a Faithless Looting. Again, getting those two confused.
I would try to get rid of this Deathrite Shaman. He's going to get rid of Sever the Bloodline. And pass the turn.
Wow, so Adam Prosak kind of taking a risky route here. I'm really surprised. He really felt the need to deal Kyle Wright that 3 damage, but instead he just could have killed the Deathrite Shaman.
Right, so he's going to attack for 4, and Thragtusk gaining 5. And he's probably fine here. You know, all roads seem to lead to the same place.
That's true too. It would take some phenomenal draws out of Kyle Wright to get him out of this. It would include
Charm and Tragic Slip in Kyle's hand.
Wow.
And he's staring down an army. The Deathrite Shaman's not really going to be able to race that army.
No, definitely not. 4 activations away. There aren't even 4 sorceries or instants in the graveyard. So Kyle Wright has some work to do. He has to hope that Adam Prosak messes up. Adam Prosak looking to move to 2-0. Oh, wow, Curse of Death's Hold.
That's just gravy at this point.
Trying to lock it up even more. Looks like that's his Rakdos Key Rune mana. Trying to figure out the best way to play this turn. Decides it's Sever.
Severing Deathrite Shaman. Now, would there be a reason to sever the Deathrite Shaman? The reason to sever it over pinging it twice would be to play around Golgari Charm.
Which Kyle Wright did draw. So heads up play by Adam Prosak. Also, he'll have enough mana to activate the Key Rune, which might represent lethal here. 5, 10, 13. No, that's only 13. Adam Prosak on the right looking supremely confident.
Yeah.
He knows this game is all but over. Probably reading Kyle for the Golgari Charm right now. Kyle Wright in the tank, trying to figure it out. But really, the 5-card hand caught up with him. He had no more gas left in the tank after his initial onslaught was stopped. He'll let it die.
And Golgari Charm will come down to kill the Key Rune. Tragic Slip the Olivia. He'll drop to 11, but he has no cards.
Yep, no cards versus Thragtusk. And Kyle Wright needs to draw a Giralf's Messenger right here.
He needs to draw running Giralf's Messengers.
Right.
When he put it into play tapped for a moment there, I thought we were looking at a messenger, but...
So, Ghoulgrave Crawler, and, you know, the Deathrite Shaman in Kyle's graveyard should be RFG. Thank you for pointing that out. We'll make sure that happens.
Yeah, I don't think he has a way to reanimate it, so I don't think we're too worried. I suppose another Deathrite Shaman could eat it. Curse of Death's Hold out of Adam Prosak bins the Grave Crawler.
And now Kyle Wright, Diregraph.
Like I said, running messengers would be really good here. And he plays Pithing Needle.
Pithing Needle. Not quite what he needs. That would have been great versus the Olivia earlier.
Needling, I'm not sure what the needle's on. Probably on Olivia. Another Thrag.
Another Thragtusk for the Needle. Adam Prosak up to 14. Kyle Wright, not a miracle.
Not a miracle. Alright, so Adam Prosak defeats Kyle Wright 2-1. John Minrange defeating black-green zombies. Zombies deck was not able to really, you know, the mull to 5 in the deciding game hurt. What's your opinion on the sideboarding of Pithing Needle?
I really dislike that. Yeah, you need a way. I mean, you do need a way to kill Olivia, but between Appetite for Brain, between killing it in combat, between Tragic Slip, I think he has enough ways.
Now it also hits a lot less Troll.
That's true too. But at the same time, Lala Troll will still do its job. It'll still trade with something, meaning you'll have 2-for-1 to yourself in a deck that has no real card advantage.
So going more to the theory.